Alright, there's some stuff I'd like to go over in the video that you did, which I appreciate you doing, but I'm just going to play what you sent. I'll have the exercise up on screen going along with each one that you do here. So there's stuff to talk about, and there are things that need to be cleaned up or fixed. So I think I'm just going to do one new thing at the end of this video, because these three, I don't remember if number one needs much fixing, but anyway, well, I watched it and there was some stuff anyway, we'll just go step by step on the whole thing and just talk about things as they go. So hopefully you'll be able to hear your video okay. So let's get started here.
Exercise 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
Okay, so right there, that's the first thing. Now, when you went from this A5 to the G5, it's exactly how you're supposed to do it, because you waited until the next beat. So you played 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So you moved your hand, your fretting hand, at the same time that you picked. So what you're doing here, when you're going from this G5 to the E5, so remember this, the half note tied to the quarter note, this is telling you it's supposed to ring out that whole time. So what you're doing right now is you're moving your hand over to this E5 on beat number 1. You may not be playing the E5 on beat number 1, and you're not. You're playing it on beat 2, which is correct. But you're moving your hand over there too soon. So that needs to be done here to here. Whoops. Such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So you need to wait until that chord is supposed to be played. Don't move your hand too early, because that's not how it's supposed to sound. So let's keep going here.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Well, that little shift up there, I think you know that needed to come up sooner, or not sooner. You just didn't go far enough there. But anyway, so let's keep going.
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
So you moved your hand too early there again.
4, 1, 2.
That was perfect timing going to that F5 chord.
1.
And then going up to that A5 chord there, exactly how it's supposed to be done. So that shows you definitely can, like, you know how to wait. Just for whatever reason, here to here, you weren't waiting. So we know you can. So stuff like this, you know, that's what's gonna make you sound professional, is waiting until you're supposed to move. So we know you can wait. So that's one thing that needs to be cleaned up right there for exercise 1. Let's go on to the fast version now. Now at the end there, so you still moving your, moving over to this E5 chord a beat too soon instead of waiting. It sounds less obvious at that speed, but it's still there. So when you got to this bar here, on the repeat, why did it do that? You didn't let this chord ring out for 2 beats. You played it as if there were 3 F5s in this bar. So I'm going to rewind a little bit, see if you can hear that. So again, you didn't let this last F5 ring out for a half note. You played 3 F5s in this last bar, only on the repeat.
One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Here comes the repeat.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
So hopefully you heard that. So that's something you got to pay attention to when you're faster there. Just making sure that it's obviously 100% correct. And it does need to be that. This is the whole perfect practice makes perfect thing. So, but this is all part of the learning process. I just really want to make sure that everything that I did see that was incorrect here, that you also see it. So this way you have a better awareness of what's going on, and you'll be more able to correct these things moving forward. So let's keep going.
Exercise 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so right off the bat there, remember, this is a quarter note. This rings out for 1 beat. This is a dotted half note. That rings out for 3 beats. Okay? So even just seeing this, if this lasts 1 beat, remember, all this stuff has to mathematically equal 4 quarter notes to fill up this bar. So if this last note in here is a quarter note, the only beat that it could go in is number 4. It can't be number 3 because mathematically it doesn't make any sense. So, and this is something to say now, those video recaps that I send you, I really, really want you to use those to your advantage. After you get, if you think you have the chord progression down, even if you, or if you don't think you have it down, or the rhythm, watch the video that I send you, play along to it, and make sure that you're playing it exactly how I'm doing it. This way you ensure that you're playing everything correctly. So I think, yeah, going up to 120, so I typically do those speeds of 60, 90, and 120. So double check this stuff along the way. Once you feel like you got it correctly at 60, play along to the video, make sure it sounds correct, and then work it up to 90. Play along with me in the video at 90 to ensure that you're still doing it correct, and do it again at 120 once you get up to there. Again, just to make sure that you're doing it correct. So please use those video recaps to help make sure that you're doing this stuff right. So let's go again. This is a dotted half note, which gets a beat of 3. So let's rewind to the start of this, and hopefully you can hear that you're basically playing it as if it was 2 half notes like it is here.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3,
Nope.
4. 1, 2, 3.
Yes, that's right.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
Well, you let that time you you did let this ring out for 3 beats. But then unfortunately you moved to a different chord too soon there.
1, two, three,
Nope.
4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Another thing to think about here, you ask yourself, does that look the same? Does it look like, so you have the two half notes here. So remember, all this stuff, it's telling you a very specific thing. There's no, like, leaving things up to interpretation here. It's one specific thing all the time. A quarter note is only going to last a quarter note. A half note is only going to last a half note. It doesn't matter what the time signature is. It has to be these things. So, you see here, you got the two half notes. And here, you definitely don't. So, the rhythmic spacing cannot be done the same way. Okay? So that, maybe think of that as like a hint as to double check your work as you're going here. Let's continue.
2, 3, 4, 1, 2.
Wait a second.
4, 3,
Start over with this
2,
one.
3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3,
Yes.
4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Speed up.
So right now it's just the same thing. You're just not playing a dotted half note.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Son of a bitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. There we go.
I mean, good part, like, those three bars sound good. Those three bars do sound good. Alright, number 3 coming up here.
Exercise 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4.
So, same thing there.
2, 3.
So, what I find interesting, here, the dotted half note, you let that ring out for all 3 beats, which is good. But then when you got it here, you go back to treating it as if that was a half note and that was a half note. So the same issue with exercise 2, this bar here, you're not letting this dotted half note ring out for 3 beats, and you're treating this last quarter note as if it was a half note as well.
4, 1, 2. That up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3.
Yep, 3 beats, that's correct.
2, two, three, four, one, 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 two, three, four, one. Yep. Right. One, two, three, four. 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 One, two, three, four.
So yeah, just again just the timing here. That's what needs to be fixed. So that being said, let's see. Close that guy. I'm just gonna write this out as it is on screen. What we're doing here, 27th. Okay. So some string changing going on here. Okay, let's do this. And let you see what I'm writing here. Alright, so let's do this. So I'm going to start with the dotted half notes. Remember, count of three. It lasts 3 full beats. Right? Okay. And then let's do so I want to have you just work on this in addition to the previous 3, okay? So keep working on those 3. Just all the corrections need to be made, obviously brought up in that commentary that we just went through. Please use that video recap I sent you last time, going over how to play these things, and play along with it, make sure that it's going correctly. And even when you think you've nailed it, double check each time, okay? So I wanted to do this because, like in one of those examples from last time, like you'd play the 2 half notes correctly, but you'd also have the dotted half note and a quarter note there. So the big thing here, all these chords are not going to last 2 whole beats together. Alright, so that's why I want to just go between both of these, just to really, really drill this point home, that a dotted half note and a quarter note in one bar is not going to ring out the same as 2 half notes. So, as I've mentioned, 3 speeds, 60, 90, and 120. So again, once you think you have this correctly, please play along with this video at the 60 beats a minute thing. When you work it up to 90, play along with this video again, just to double check that you're doing it right. And again, once you work it up to 120, please follow the video one more time to make sure that it's being done correctly still, because things might change, as you get faster and faster, so just please use these things to your advantage. These video recaps are the fail-safe in order to make sure things are done correctly throughout the week. Just gotta play along with them, gotta watch them. All right, so, and I am in standard tuning. It did sound like you were drop tuned, so, and yeah, I don't know if you're able to tune back up to standard for this stuff, but yeah, that would just mess my guitar up if I tune this whole thing down a whole step. So hopefully this will work out. All right, so 60 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. 90. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. And 120. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. All right. So, if you have any questions about the 3 exercises that the commentary was done on, let me know. If you have any questions about what this new exercise is, let me know. And yeah, so, and at the first each month, or not the first each month, the week before the first each month, I do send out those invoices for everybody, just kind of like the heads up, the new month's coming up. So sometimes those things wind up in spam folders. So if you don't see it, maybe check there, but let me know if I need to resend it, okay? And again, any questions whatsoever, please let me know. And I think that covers everything. All right, man. I will plan on seeing you Monday.